Hello everybody, my name is Krobus the Evil Wizard, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm sure you've heard the hubbub and hoopla going around in the US about all these data centers being built. I personally hate them. Don't want them, never want them, and I don't think anybody in their right mind should want them. But I have been hearing a lot of pro data center sentiment, especially from older people. Now, that's to be expected because, they have the reading level of fifth graders. So, it's hard to blame them. Who can blame them? They don't know no better. But we do. Now, that's why I think we should also be a little bit informed on why they're so terrible for the environment. Now, it's been going around pretty heavy. The Shark Tank guy, Kevin O'Leary, who is not an American citizen, by the way, he is a Canadian, wants to build one of the biggest AI data centers in the state of Utah, right next to the Great Salt Lake. That is already draining, and Utah is also going through, their droughts of their own. So people, rightfully so, are mad about that. And they should be, because data centers are fucking terrible for the environment. They use more energy than the entire state, especially with the campuses that they're trying to build. Smaller data centers, not so much, but they still use a very heavy portion of electricity compared to the actual people that live there. But these campuses, these ginormous fucking data centers, use more electricity than the entire state does combined. So that's one reason why people don't want them to be built, because it also impacts their electricity bills. You think the data centers are the ones paying for it? No, that's wrong, because why would the company that's barging in on your town have to pay for the things that they're doing? No, that payment's going to go directly on you and the taxpayers in the area. It also uses a shit ton of water, and it makes it undrinkable. It dirties it up. It pollutes gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of water that people could be drinking, that could be used, anywhere else in the fucking town. But no, it all gets gobbled up by these data centers. Although the laws and regulations don't require data centers to publicly state their water consumption or usage, OpenAI's Stargate-related Freebird data center project in Malam County is planned to be a hyperscale data center, meaning it can and will likely use anywhere from 3 to 5 million gallons of water a day. Potentially more if being operated in hot climate conditions like, Texas? Like what? From what I've seen and what I've heard on the internet, because you look it up on fucking Google, the AI prompt thing that it shows you first, so you don't look any further, just tells you, nope, there's nothing going on. But if you look on Facebook, if you look on the social media concerning the actual cities it's not cities, but the people who live in those cities, you can see, the governor put out a drought warning. Oh my god, our fucking water is turning brown.
Just started last night. It gets worse. Like you can put and it's on both sides. There it is. There it got worse. Like the girls went to go take a shower and they started hollering saying, "Daddy, come look at this." I went and looked. I said, "Golly, man." And turned on the hot water side. It was clear for about 5 minutes. Then it's the same way. But you want to know what? I would love. Look at that. Golly, man. Look at that. I would love for somebody from the government, county, or somebody come down. I'd like for you to drink that. That's why I want you to drink that. See how you like it. That's disgusting. That's a brand new well, $11,000 well that me and my grandmother had to get drilled here. And now, 5-6 years later, we got to deal with this. Is that normal? That is not normal.
Oh my god. Why are we building something that is going to consume 3 to 5 million gallons of water a day when we already have drought restrictions put in place? It truly doesn't make sense to me. In seeing the amount of money that these, obviously millionaires and billionaire CEOs are putting into getting to try and convince you that you want a data center next to you. You want not to be able to sleep at all because you're going to hear humming, and there's going to be a lot of there's going to be so much light you won't be able to see the fucking moon. And you're not going to be able to sleep at all, ever. Fuck you. That's why. Not only do most data centers use an absolutely astronomical amount of water, they also use an absurd amount of electricity. To put it in a more imaginable scale, the proposed 40,000 acre data center Kevin O'Shithead is building which is double the size of Manhattan, by the way, is proposed to use 9 gigawatts of energy. Mind you, that 216 gigawatt hours a day is more energy than entire countries use in a day. So this one building is going to be using more electricity than other countries use in a day. What the fuck? And since when doing the research, I kind of had to look it up and I was kind of confusing myself. I thought I'd lay it out in a more simple way here. Gigawatts and gigawatt hours are two different things. And this confuses a lot of people, including me, mainly because I am Baba Booey. Gigawatts measures power, so it measures how fast energy is being used. It's like tracking the speed of a car. Gigawatt hours, on the other hand, measures total energy used over time. So, in layman's terms, it's how much energy was used. Almost like measuring the distance that said car traveled. But if maybe even that is still confusing, let me once again compare energy usage of AI data centers, but to houses this time. The average US household uses about 30 kilowatt hours a day. An 100 megawatt AI data center uses about 2.4 million kilowatt hours a day. That means a single 100 megawatt data center uses roughly the same amount of energy as 80,000 homes. So one large facility can equal to hundreds of thousands of homes. But that is nothing compared to the AI data center campuses. Gigawatt campuses. These gigawatt data centers rival the energy consumption of millions to hundreds of millions of people's homes. And if the mass energy consumption and the excessive water usage didn't rub you the wrong way or kind of show you, oh wow, this is like Fern Gully, just IRL, we're genuinely just destroying the planet for fun now. What about actual pollution? All these literal demons building these data centers buy a shit ton of usually local farmland. They buy out city commissioners so they all vote yes on the building plans before the actual residents that live in those counties can vote on it. And they do it to line their pockets. And it's not confirmed that these people pay out these commissioners, but there's no fucking way these people can actually look at all the evidence there is about how terrible data centers are for the regions that they populate and say, yeah, my town needs that. My town needs that right there. Are they getting a kickback? Because that's the only way I can imagine these things actually go through with city commissioners. But why would they care? Usually they're old fucks that are going to die in a week anyways, so they're not going to live long enough to actually deal with the consequences of these data centers. You've probably seen this clip floating around the internet of the Box Elder County Commissioner going, "To hell's sakes!
For hell's sakes, grow up!"
But they were booed so hard that they moved into a separate room away from all the booing so that they could all unanimously vote yes on the data center being built in private. Meanwhile, you had a whole crowd of people literally booing them when they were talking about doing it. So much for voting in the interest of the people. But hey, maybe you're still saying, oh, well, I don't live near any data centers. There's no planned data centers near me either. So, I don't really care. It also affects you indirectly with RAM. If you're a gamer. The reason RAM is so expensive nowadays is because big manufacturers, mainly like Nvidia, are selling or producing RAM primarily for AI data centers and in the interest of AI data centers. And those CEOs, because they have unfathomable amounts of money, just spend it on the RAM. They can afford it, so it outprices the average consumer. Now, you may be thinking, oh, well, I'll just buy consoles. Too bad, because it affects you too, seeing as the Steam Machine price went up literally double because of this kind of shit. But maybe you're still on the fence, and you don't really care about that kind of stuff. You're not a gamer, you could give a shit less if it pollutes the environment. You just want your job. I want to get my money. Fuck the planet. I won't be able to buy whatever the fuck I want, which is why it gives me a job. Well, what the data centers actually give are temporary jobs. Temporary jobs to construction workers, which is good. They always need work, but I don't know. I've seen maybe I've seen the Lorax one too many times, or Fern Gully one too many times, and I actually care about the planet. You know, I think the amount of money you're getting for building these data centers isn't worth what you're killing on the planet. It does take a lot of construction workers to build them, so whenever these projects are proposed, they say, oh, it's going to give 2,000 to 3,000 jobs. 2,000 to 3,000 temp jobs. Temporary jobs. Because I want you to guess how many people it takes to run a data center full time. 25 to 60 people. Double digits. For something double the size of Manhattan, double digits. Maybe it'll be 80 because that facility is so big. Maybe, I don't know. But you know what? That also brings something up. Which, by the way, means that there is just a facility, a very ginormous facility, filled with gold, platinum, copper, computer parts. I'll wait till you understand what I'm saying. Well, that pretty much wraps up what I have to say about data centers, because really, what else is there to say? They're terrible for the environment. They're blatant infringements on our right to enjoy the land that we live on. So go out and convince your local tweaker to run rampant in your local data center. Nobody is better at stripping concrete and valuable materials from a building than a tweaker is. Maybe a Romanian. And remember that pouring sugar on wet concrete completely ruins the concrete. And remember to brush your teeth. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hold the fucking phone! I realized that I made this script like way earlier. I've been meaning to get this video out for about 2 weeks now. They've been trying to pass laws to make people who are critical on data centers into terrorists, into potential domestic terrorists. So remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell to potentially become an evil wizard, because I can't, you know, tell you to do the other thing, because I don't condone the other thing. So instead, become an evil wizard. That's all I gotta say. No sponsor today, because I think this video is serious to the point where I don't feel comfortable sponsoring my video today. So have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.